Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. It is 5:30 in the morning, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about this morning, is that's not enough. It's not enough to just get up early in the morning and everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows on the homestead. No, there's more to it. So today we're going to discuss the 10 rules for success on the homestead. And you can take these 10 rules for business, 10 rules for your life, 10 rules for your career. They apply pretty well universally across a wide variety of subjects. But 10 things that are going to help you succeed on your homestead. And the first one is put in the work. Now, again, it's not enough to just get up early in the morning. You've actually got to put in the work, and don't be lazy. Now, some people might bristle at the word lazy. Ooh, I'm not lazy. No, I got up at 5:30 in the morning. What I mean by don't be lazy, and this is, keep in mind, this is coming from lessons that we've learned while building our own homestead. So there was a time when I had to make a decision. Am I going to be lazy or am I going to learn? And so there's lots of opportunities while you're building your homestead to just push the easy button and say, I'm going to hire a contractor to do this. Where there's no code regulation, there's no legislation, there's no requirement to hire an expert or a trade or anything like that. There's an opportunity for you to, and maybe do more than just watch a YouTube video in this, but learn a new skill, learn a new talent, and actually just do it yourself. That way, yes, you incur the material cost, but you don't incur the labor cost. You just incur the time cost. And then the physical monetary cost, you can then spend on something downstream of that, where you do require a permit, you do require a trade, you do require some level of expertise that you can't acquire without a significant investment of your time. So put in the time, put in the work, don't be lazy. That's the first thing. Now the second thing for success is stop waiting. Just go. It's now, it's time, just do it. Too many people are crippled with trying to wait something out, trying to wait for the price to be right, trying to make more money. And what you really have to think about is, have you ever gone to the gas station and thought, okay, well, this is the price today. Well, no, I'm going to wait till next year to buy gas because, the price is going to go down. But the reality is it's going to fluctuate a little bit, but it's continually going to rise. It's the same with lumber, any kind of building material, any infrastructure project, land values. Over time, the price just keeps going up and up and up and up. And so you can be there rubbing your shekels together thinking, oh, I'm so close. And then when you've got enough, you look at the price tag and you're like, what? And it's gone up. And then you're behind, then you're back to, trying to hustle and get some more shekels. And then, eventually you're just never going to get there, right? So there's certain things you have to do. You have to take a risk on, and you have to kind of put yourself out there, maybe sit in the poorhouse for a little bit, maybe rely a little bit on credit. And that's okay if you're smart about it. And when I say be smart about it, I'm talking like if you're going to use credit to acquire something, you want it to be an appreciating asset, not a depreciating liability. So if you've already got your land and you're looking, well, man, I really need a tractor around here. Okay, well, don't go out and buy a brand new $50,000 John Deere tractor from the dealership, because the minute that thing leaves the lot, it's now a $30,000 John Deere tractor. All right, it just immediately depreciates. You go out and buy a used tractor, right? Go out and buy a $5,000 tractor, a $10,000 tractor that's in reasonably good shape, that is going to hold its value, and you could probably, if you had to, liquidate that thing and not lose your behind on it. But an appreciating asset is something like, if it's not land-based itself, is maybe a piece of infrastructure. This building is a good example of that, right? We built this building in 2018, and all finished, all done, was about $100,000. So that's a big building, and we paid for that, boom, cash money, right? Out of our life savings. And the reason for that is because now that increased our land value by $175,000. So $100,000 investment to get $175,000 value, increased the land value exponentially. Therefore, we could get a mortgage to build the house, right? Because we had a lot of extra equity in the house that we didn't really actually have to pay for. So being smart with credit, being smart with your money makes a big, big difference. And yeah, don't buy things, right? Just buy infrastructure, buy things, assets, don't buy liabilities. Now, the third rule of thumb is you're going to have to be self-reliant. Now, the reason for that, I mean, obviously, if you're already looking at Homestead and you're probably wanting to get away a little bit from society and be somewhat more self-reliant, but there's a lot of obstacles that you're going to encounter along your journey, which we all do, and we all experience different obstacles at different times in our journey. But the reality is the universe is just going to do what the universe is doing, and it isn't going to drop something. It's not going to drop the answer to all your problems in your lap unless you're in the right place at the right time. So that means learning skills. That means building relationships with your neighbors. It's good to have a community and be joint. I guess be able to share some resources together. But the reality is you've got to be out there. You got to hustle. You got to build those relationships. But there's a lot of stuff that you're going to have to be able to do, honestly, by yourself. The friends that you maybe had beforehand, before you moved out to the country, before you started homesteading, may not have the skills that you need in order to just phone a friend and say, hey, can you come help me butcher a pig this weekend? Nah, that's not something that's everybody's cup of tea, right? So, maybe there are neighbors that can do it, and maybe they will come and help you. But again, the self-reliant piece of that is you're going to have to be able to reciprocate that favor some way, shape, or form down the road. And so that means building your own skill set and having something that's of value to contribute to a community. So that kind of plays hand in hand with the next one is, be careful who you hang out with. You really got to be cognizant of who's in your circle and have concentric circles. In the case of, you've got the people that you want to do farm stuff with, and you got the people that you want to do fun stuff with. And people are creatures of their environment, right? And so if you're hanging around with morons habitually, eventually there's a little bit of moron that's going to rub off on you, and it's going to be detrimental to you down the road, right? And so that's why I would always encourage people, if they're on the journey, that's going to, then I've got to seek out like-minded individuals. And sometimes that means make new friends. And unfortunately, sometimes that means you're going to lose a few old friends because they're just, that's not for me. And I've got no interest in it. And that's fine. If you're going to lose friends over the fact that you raise chickens, they were probably just dragging on your coattails anyways. But, the folks that really appreciate you, maybe they won't come out and spend time and help you butcher the pig, but they'll still be interested in what you're doing. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to have to look at your circle and think, if I'm hanging out with people that are habitually unsuccessful, I'm absorbing some of that, voluntary or otherwise, and I maybe want to distance myself from that and start engaging people, whether it's at a friendship level or a professional level, that are habitually successful, and whether it's getting tips from them or just watching and observing and, where are they taking risk? Where are they making investments? What do they do in their private and personal lives that I can then utilize myself to benefit? All right, so I don't know if we're on 5 or 6 or just exactly where we're at. I kind of lost track of thought here, but the next one is maturity, right? You got to have a lot more aptitude when it comes to maturity required, and kind of throw out the fairy tale perception of what you think this is going to look like. It's not all purple pastels in the chicken coop, and it's not all how it looks in the catalog or the magazine or Instagram or wherever you're looking. And it's not that you can't have nice things, but you do have to prepare yourself for the reality that things will get sick, crops will fail, animals may die, in some cases on purpose, some cases by accident. It all depends if we're talking about butchering, right? And try as you may, you are not going to be able to keep your animals from pooping on everything that you tried to make nice or pretty or look good. That's the reality. And you just gotta be objective about it, and like I said, be mature about it, and don't be heartbroken when you paint the inside of your chicken coop and then the next day you go in there and it looks like a bomb went off. So number 7 is don't waste a pile of energy on things that are outside your control. There's going to be a lot of stuff day to day that just flies by, and in the heat of the moment it seems like it matters, But if you blink your eyes, well, it's already gone. And so if you've already invested time and energy and effort into something that's not even there anymore, it's not even a problem anymore, as human beings, we typically are stubborn. We'll continue to put focus and energy on things that now, at one point in time, it was we thought it was a problem. It was really just a minor inconvenience. And it's no longer a thing, but we're still, because we've got skin in the game, we're still pushing and putting effort in, and the thing's not even, it's just not an issue anymore, right? And so we're wasting energy in the moment, and then we're investing wasted energy down the road. So you really just look at what are your limiting factors, right? Okay, time's a limiting factor. The weather, daylight, things like that are limiting factors. Really good things to focus some energy on, because long term that limiting factor isn't going to disappear. So maybe you're going to invest in some time management training or skills, or a piece of infrastructure that's going to help you save a bit of time, right? Or if we're talking about the weather, maybe I'm going to invest in some type of shelter system so that my animals can come in and not be exposed to the elements all the time. Here in northern Alberta, I talked about daylight. Daylight is a huge thing here. In the wintertime, we get like 4 to 6 hours sometimes. If you get into December, it's really, really short days, right? So investing a little bit of time and effort into outside lighting so that you can still actively work on stuff after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Number eight's a tough one to do. But you've got to draw a line in the sand somewhere. And it's stop being a people pleaser. Now, I've done multiple videos on the cost of a dozen eggs, and whether that's how much it costs you as a producer to make them, or how much it costs the consumer to buy them or haggle you down to them. And as a small producer, as an early homesteader, you're going to run into this lots. People are going to say, what's the price? And I've got my cost, and then I've got whatever I want to get for profit on top of that. So here's my price. And then they go, I think I can get it cheaper at XYZ Superstore. Well, go knock your socks off. Have a time. Go put that toxic stuff in your body, whatever, that heavily processed garbage from the grocery store. Go ahead. Because you got to have a good understanding of what your product is. You got to have a good understanding of the value of it. And if you continue to let people to haggle you down on the price, especially friends and family, right? There should be no friends and family deals. It's what it costs, right? This is what it costs, and therefore this is what I got to sell it for, or I'm just going to go. And if your friends and your family are trying to haggle you down, you've really got to have a tough conversation with them and say, as my friend or as my family member, you want me to succeed, right? You want my business to succeed. Therefore, I'm able to feed my children and provide for the future. Surely enough, you do. Therefore, stop asking for the friends deal. Stop asking for the family deal. This is what it costs. And it's the same with the random Joe Blow on the street. If they want to get into it with you over what's apples to apples price-wise, then you're really going to have to reciprocate back with what's apples to apples product-wise. And so on that note, number 9, stop putting toxic stuff in your own body. That should be a given, but it's super easy. It's super easy to be like, oh man, I can't grow that. So I'm just going to go to Walmart, or I'm just going to go to a Superstore, wherever, and I'm just going to Costco, and I'm just going to buy that. And those things can't, if you can't grow it in your own garden, chances are you probably shouldn't be buying it in a grocery store. And there's a twofold reason for that is, well, A, it's either been highly chemically processed, which is super bad for your body, or B, it's probably got 10,000 miles on it, and it's got a massive carbon footprint, and it's actually out of season. It's probably laden with pesticides, and again, not good for you, right? So if you can't raise it right where you're at, and I know there's some people that live in some harsh climates, we do too, it gets to minus 50 degrees Celsius here in the wintertime. Trust me, there's no excuses, there's no reasons why you can't grow some stuff. We only get a 90-day growing window here, so you can do it. And last but not least, you've got to stop doing things the way we've always done it, right? And especially if you're new to the community and you think, okay, well, this is how this is done. There's yeah, forget everything you think you knew, and you're gonna have to build a set of knowledge, a set of skills, almost from the ground up in many cases, especially when it comes to things like livestock management, because keeping chickens is not the same as keeping a dog in your backyard in town. It's not the same at all. Even if you're in a case of urban chickens in town is a heck of a lot different than having free range chickens on the farm, because, well, am I gonna have a coyote come into town and clear out my chicken coop? There's a lot less chance of that than here out on the farm, right? So you're gonna have to go back and learn a lot of new stuff. And you know, if you're doing something and it doesn't work, don't do that thing twice as hard. Don't put extra effort into it. Go back, analyze it, see, okay, where did it actually go wrong? Learn from that thing, and don't repeat that step, right? You might still look for that same objective, and there may be steps that you do take that are similar, but don't just repeat the process and expect a different result, because, well, remember the morons I talked about earlier? Yeah, that's what they would do. But anyways, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, go down below, click like, click subscribe. I don't know which side they're on, but anyways, click like and subscribe. And I'm gonna let you go for now. I'm gonna go fix up some eggs and have a bit of breakfast. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.